All right, here's the project. Lot's been done since the last video. I've worked stuff out, reworked stuff, cut stuff out, put new floor in, cut the new floor out, cut the body in half, shrunk it down. We've got it where it needs to be now. Now we're just on some of the final touches. I have 27 items left to do. We should have a lot busted out in the next coming videos, but thanks for watching and hopefully you guys enjoy this. All right, so now you can see I've got to cut the floor out. It's just super rusted, not really going to hold very well. So I'm going to cut the entire floor pan out of where the seats are sitting, where the back is. Going to just make it a completely flat floor. Then I'll be able to build the roll cage this weekend, hopefully, and tie the seats into the roll cage so that it's super safe. Going to use some 16 gauge steel for the floor. Not going to do the glove compartment like the Willys had. We'll just have a perfectly flat floor, raise it up, and then potentially I'm going to mount a toddler seat from Aces Racing, or I'll get another race trim like we have in the Baby Lizard, mount it here for the kids when Kaya can sit there. Yeah, it's coming along. I got the steering all mounted. Well, I'm taking the entire floor out and starting to wonder if I should also take the inner fenders, so that the inner fenders are new, the whole floor is new. This is the firewall and the dash are in awesome condition, so I don't think I'm going to take anything past where I've cut here. Everything else is so rusted out. It's been plated twice. Hopefully I can cut at least 100 plus pounds of metal out. Don't really need a trans tunnel because I'm not running a transmission, just the ATV motor, so that'll be super simple. Gonna use awesome CAD so I can put this back together. All right. Probably should have taken the transfer case out. But in my typical fashion. Yeah. Probably could have just flipped the body upside down and made my life a million times easier. Well, that sucked. That was a ton of work. The Willys has wood in it in the bracing. Plasma cutter would start it on fire. Wouldn't cut all the way through. Of course, I don't have a Sawzall or a grinder here because I left it on a job site, but got it all cut out. Need to get some cardboard. Gonna build the floor here in the main area, and then in the trunk back area. Going to tie in for frame mounts as well once the new floor's just about ready to go. Yeah, it's went from super close to being done to 10 steps backwards, but it'll be so nice not having this rusted out floor. I really think I'm going to end up cutting these out too and putting new inner fenders in so that I can rake the 2 seats back. But hopefully tomorrow I can use my CAD design and get some metal cut and maybe even tacked into place. It's a pretty simple flat with a 4-inch rise and then about a 4-foot square. So let's see. Okay, so steering wise, everyone asks about the steering because it's a super unique setup. It's a CarTech rack and pinion, and then we have a steering shaft that slides 7 inches. We're running a universal side-by-side EPS. This one we're running a Super ATV 400 watt. The design came from JP Russo. He's the genius behind it. He's literally the one that's made it for the Baby Lizard to be what it is, what the junior car is going to be, and this I'm copying the ideas that he came up with because it just flat out works. So we'll have some bump steer, but honestly it's not going to be that much with the speeds that we're going. These aren't race cars. We're not looking to go probably more than 10 miles an hour at most, but they work awesome. They flex great, and the steering shaft doesn't bind up. It's really surprising how well it works.
Effective.
The hackricator, because I'm not a fabricator.
Is that an official term?
Well, I am a hack, I can tell you that much.
It's actually kind of working though.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Is it big enough?
I hope so. Probably not. Like I said, I'm a hack.
Hackricator.
Coming along. Definitely cutting the inner fenders out. I've gone to all this work.
You're literally using like
The shell. Shell.
All right.
You know, I don't really know why the things escalate. I love using my plasma cutter. It's a lot of work to get it set up, but when I get it out, it's just fun to cut stuff. And
That's an excuse to use that.
yeah. Same reason why hopefully Eastwood will sponsor me so I can get their new 4x4 plasma table, because I'm computer illiterate and technology illiterate, so it would be sweet to have that though.
Why'd you cut the fenders out?
They're at full bump, they hit the fully flexed out. The inside of the tire was hitting the fender. So I'm gonna do what I did in Frankie, which is my very first rock crawler that I built and learned how to weld on. I'll probably end up trying to figure out how to roll this so it's the tire line and comes across, and then it'll come out, and then it'll box so the shocks are completely inside the fenders. That's gonna really test my hack skills up. Now we're working on getting the fenders set, gonna get the gas pedals mounted, and then if we're lucky, Santa's gonna either bring a plasma table from Eastwood or an electric over hydraulic tube bender so that I don't have to bug friends to cut stuff or bend stuff. So we'll see what Santa brings, aka me, but should be cool. Gonna get this set, got our seats. I'm going to end up putting a toddler seat back here and then potentially a bump seat in the middle, that will use the bump seat more than we'll use the toddler seat. Hack fabrication at its finest. In typical Chase fashion, I always think that I can do more than I actually can. Cut the fenders out, and because at full bump, fully flexed out, the inner fender was being pushed in by the tire, and so I decided to go ham with some 16 gauge steel and build my own custom inner fenders. It's going somewhat well. Obviously I get impatient. I don't draw it out. I don't make a cardboard design. I just start measuring and then cutting and then hoping for the best and then fill in, hopefully no big gaps, but we'll see. Super excited with how it's turning out. We're gonna get both the Baja JP seats in, and then I have a UTV or a Aces Racing toddler seat. Might end up getting a race trim like we have in the kids buggy in the Baby Lizard, and putting it here with the gas tank behind here so that our youngest can sit here while we're in this, because she's a Klingon and cannot be away from mom ever. So progress is going good though. Excited. Once I get this inner fender in, I'm going to mount the body with some body mounts that I got in 8 different places. The whole goal with this is when I need to modify something, I want it simple, easy to lift the body off, take it off, so I have just a bare chassis. When I do the roll cage, it's going to be bolted in 6 different spots, so the roll cage will come out and then the body comes off. So it's going to be real easy to break apart and take apart, because in typical Chase fashion, something will break the first trip out. So now I've got to bend this up so that I'm most likely gonna have to cut some of the tacks off that I needed so that I could bend it down. But I gotta bring this up about 1.5 inches so that it's level with this one. So this is the hardest part, where I don't have the fabrication tools and I just kind of throw stuff together. But I'm going to get this to lift up where it needs to go, then I can frame in my side panels and then spend the next 7 business days welding the floor pan up and move on to the next step. See, I don't know if I'm even going to be able to get that to pop. If I take that out, okay, so I wanted it to be mini, and the Willys body is 57 inches. I ended up getting my 2 Corbeau seats and maximizing the space and cutting out 12 inches of the center of the entire tub, hood, and grill. So now I'm gonna have to get a different fuel tank so that I can still get a 3rd seat in, but we've narrowed it down so it's more monster truck proportional. Super excited with how it turned out. I think it now will classify as a mini Jeep instead of a mid-size cut down stubby Willys Jeep. Super excited with how it turned out though. Can't wait to get the cage done so that it completes the look of the build.